Thank you very much. What an incredibly exciting day. So glad to be here and so appreciative of this opportunity. Congratulations to the foundation on your 30th anniversary. Our community overall is so much better for all of the work you've done, and I know all the thought that you've put in to the investments that you've made. As far as Habitat goes, we're very appreciative of the things that we've been able to create together so far, and we're super excited about what we are about to build going forward. So a little bit about Habitat for Humanity. We are inspired by the idea that everybody has a safe, decent, and affordable place to live. It really drives everything that we do. We want this for every family. And our partnership with you is really exciting, actually, because you understand what we do in a way that very few others do. Every day, people engage a realtor, and they share their hopes and their dreams, and you figure out how to translate that into a home. Like, you really understand the value of a home. We have those same conversations with families, but with 1 in 5 Canadians living in housing that is unaffordable or unsafe, the families we meet, they have a lot of dreams, but they don't have a lot of hope. They're really struggling month to month, day to day. So who are these families? They're people you encounter every day. They're the bus driver who drives your kids to school, the personal care assistant who looks after your elderly mother, the desktop support person at your office. We interact with them, they smile, they help us, we assume that they're fine. But behind the smile, they're struggling to decide between paying the rent or going to the dentist. Their car breaks down and they have no money to fix it, but they need their car for work. These families are living every moment knowing that they're a breath away from much bigger struggles. But we know that the struggles of a family's past don't need to define their future. And together, we're going to work to change the outcomes of a whole bunch of families. So we've already achieved some really great things together. In 2016, you guys were the presenting sponsor of our Women Build. You helped fundraise, you helped build with us, and that was for a development in Pine Ridge that we are actually just completing this month. So Pine Ridge will be home to 24 families as of the end of this month. And we also appreciated your support in our inaugural build in Bowness. It was really fun to have you there at our home dedication. Rob's a pretty tough-looking hombre, but when the parents were talking about the impact that this home had, I think even Rob had a little bit of dirt in his eye. Yeah. So let me tell you a little bit. This is the build we did in Bowness. Let me tell you a little bit about the homes that we build. So the homes that we build, they're all multiplexes, 4-plex, 6-plex, 8-plex. There'll be about 1,100 square feet in total, 550 square feet on the main, so a modest living room, kitchen, 3 small bedrooms upstairs. All of our families who come into partnership with us will volunteer 500 hours to help us build. That really demonstrates their commitment and their desire to be homeowners. And we will sell these homes to these families with no down payment, and we will provide them with we as Habitat will provide them with an interest-free mortgage. And we'll set their mortgage payments at 25% of their family income. Because the research tells us that if a family is paying 25% or less of their income in housing, that is actually sustainable for the family. The family will have enough money for their car insurance and the dentist and those sorts of things. So it does mean that we are running mortgages for much longer than a bank would. We're running a 35-year mortgage, let's say, but it does allow us to get these families into homes and to get them on a new path. So as realtors, you see the joy of families when they find a home that's a great fit for them. For those of you who are at our Bowness home dedication, this is Susan and her children, Hope and Judah. Susan is a single mom. She's working full-time, and she would talk to us about the heart-wrenching self-doubt that was so much of her life when she realized that she was having trouble providing for her children. A lot of the families that we meet will move many times because they can't afford where they're living. So we had a family in Radisson that moved 5 times in the 2 years before we met them. They were in a place that an illegal basement suite. It was unsafe, so then they moved to a place that was a little nicer, but they couldn't quite afford it, so they stayed till their money ran out. So their two little kids were in 5 different schools over the course of 2 years. I know a lot of you are parents, and it doesn't take much imagination to know what path that is. So, you know, the stability that a home provides for these families, the impact is profound. What we have seen in our research and what we have experienced when we talk to our families is that the moms and the dads, they do better at work. The children do better at school. The children are more likely to go to post-secondary than their peers. We met a family that's a little bit of an extreme example recently. Between mom and dad, they're working 5 jobs to make ends meet, right? So we're hoping that as a Habitat family with housing that's affordable, maybe they can go down to 3 jobs, right? And maybe they'll have more time for their kids. Maybe they can partake of some of those great Calgary parent experiences like spring soccer, where we put on a parka and stand on the sidelines and pretend like this is natural and it's all okay, right? That's actually my life right now. You know, and all of our families talk about having this new sense of hope. So let's talk a little bit about that hope. Because not only is the day-to-day life of our families better because they can afford their housing, but these families have a mortgage, which means that every month they are making a payment to save for their future, to give them options in the future. We had one family contact us recently. They've been with us for a little while. They have 2 daughters who have autism, and they talked about how their daughters have grown in ways they could not imagine. And because they can afford the housing, the dad actually was able to go back to SAIT, upgrade his education. And so he was basically calling us to say, our income has jumped and I want to increase our mortgage payments. I want to pay back our home faster. And it's kind of a cool thing, because what we do as Habitat is we pool all of these families' mortgage payments, and we reuse that money to help us build our next home. So the legacy that we're creating together is much more actually than the families that we're going to help right away. We are actually building a pool of mortgages that will allow us to help more and more and more families year over year over year. And here's another kind of cool fact that I think will interest you. It is actually quite common for us to have families contact us and say, you know, we've saved up enough and we have decided to buy another house. We've decided to buy something that's maybe a little bit bigger or a little bit closer to work. And for us, that's great, because we'll buy that home back from them. We'll put another Habitat family in it, so help another family, and that family is off on their own. So, you know, you think about Susan, who I showed you earlier. 5 years from now, one of you might get a call from a lady named Susan who will say, you know, I've saved up enough money and I'd like to hire you to help me, you know, maybe they just adopted a gigantic dog and now they need a house that has, you know, a little bit of a yard or something like that. So as we grow as Habitat, thanks to support from organizations like yourselves, we're able to do bigger developments. And we're starting to discover that we can actually have impacts, in addition to the family impact, we can have impacts in the community. So this somewhat blurry aerial is of the community of Silver Springs. So in the bottom left-hand corner, we've been able to buy about 1 acre in the community of Silver Springs. We are hoping it will be the largest project we've ever done, 32 townhomes, 32 families. Now, let me share with you a few things about Silver Springs. Since 1982, the community of Silver Springs, the population of Silver Springs, has decreased by 1,700 people. 1,700 people. So when your community shrinks like that, what does it do to the health of the community schools? What does it do to transit ridership? What does it do to the usage of all the facilities that you take so much pride in as a community? So we're very excited that a development like this could inject new, hardworking young families into a community that has all the amenities already built. The schools are already there. Now, achieving all of these things sounds like a lot of work, and it is. But it's also super fun. Over 3,000 people a year volunteer to help us build. You know, 3,000 people come on site, build with our families, build with our construction crews. And I can tell you at the end of every day, everybody says, man, I have a much deeper appreciation of what it means to have a home. Now, I see you all squinting at these pictures. That is Aniv. And those are pink suede steel-toed work booties. Yeah. Now, did you know that there was such a thing? Now, the Calgary Real Estate Board has already done 15 build days with you. We hope that a whole bunch more of you can come and build with us on site. Rob mentioned that at the last one, Anib had arranged this skills challenge with the prize being a golden hammer. And I have to tell you, after spending some time on our construction site, that not everybody has the swagger to carry a golden hammer on a construction site. But you can see that everybody there, they did a great job. And actually, if you're curious, in the big picture, we are Habitat for Humanity Southern Alberta, but there are Habitat affiliates all around the globe, all of us trying to do the same thing. And in fact, Habitat completes a home every 5.5 minutes somewhere in the world. So in the last 15 minutes that I've been chatting with you, 3 homes have been finished, 3 families have been housed.